I am so happy. Jeez, because we went through what? Zoom, Google Meet,
Google.
and Teams to get to this point. Shay, thank
Oh,
you so much.
no,
Wow.
literally.
Welcome! Welcome to the Diasporic Review, everybody. Episode
Woo!
1. Exactly. Right, shall we introduce ourselves?
Yes, you go first.
Okay. Hello, I'm Lauren. In our first attempt at this, I tried to hide my last name, but I realised my last name's actually on the screen. So I'm Lauren McQueen. Hello, everybody. I'm from Hertfordshire. That's where I was raised. I was not born there. I was born in London. Let that be known. But I was raised in Hertfordshire, and I'm of Caribbean descent, of a Bajan, Antiguan, and Grenadian descent. Shout out to my cousins that are watching. Ashe. My co-host.
I'm Christopher. I am.
Why?
Thank you so much. I am from London, and I'm Congolese.
Why? We tried to speak Lingala and do that again because it's okay. It's okay. Know that
Please,
she speaks it and French
I
too.
do. I do so well, but not today. Not today.
Exactly. Don't pressure her. The hell?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, cool. So, how did we meet, Christopher?
Would you like? Should I? So
Yeah,
my
you
narrative.
tell people. Mm-hmm.
My narrative is so in 2020 we were the cohort of people that experienced uni during COVID, and we both decided to go up north to Manchester,
Why?
and you know, and then we happened to be in the same accommodation, two separate buildings, and a fellow close friend of ours decided to round up every single black person possible. Shout out to Sasha by bringing us all together. Me and Lauren were able to become really, really close friends. And we went through COVID together. We went through uh, isolation together. We went through uni parties together. Yeah. And then I'd like to say that's how we met. Oh, yeah, that's how we met. Yeah, that's how we met.
100%. I agree. Same
Oh,
story, I
oh, oh.
corroborate. Oh,
My perception of Lauren is that I always knew she. Let me. Why are you laughing already?
because I
My
know.
perception of Lauren is that she was always meant to be an educator. Um,
Oh.
she was very teacher-esque. She was very kind. And then you slowly realize that she's a bit insane. Um, yeah, that
But
was
aren't the
my.
best teachers
She's
insane? Aren't
insane.
the best
Genuinely, I was
educators
about to say that
insane?
genuinely like a teacher. Um, but yeah, Lauren was very sweet. She was very nice, and she loved to have a good time. She taught me how to really enjoy a party.
What?
Yeah.
What? Please, I can't teach what's already in her, you know what I'm saying? I just activated it, you know what I'm saying? It's just a catalyst. Wow, that's so nice. I thought you were going to say that you knew from the time you met me I was Caribbean because my face was hard.
Like a teacher.
Like a teacher, like a crazy Caribbean teacher. That's so nice. Honestly, yes, I corroborate Christopher's story. I think, yeah, uni, I remember seeing black people in our, like, we had group chats, and the only black person I saw was Sasha. So we started talking, and then everybody all ended up meeting up. Sasha was doing great business. She was doing great social networking. Fabulous, top tier. And then I remember meeting Crispy. I was like, man, this one, she's gonna be my friend, you know? She's gonna be my friend. I already had Sasha in the bag. I said, this one too. She's gonna be my friend. I've decided it. And here we are.
Friends.
Affirm it, guys. Affirm what you want in your life. But
Exactly.
okay, brilliant. And then so I guess since we met at university, What is your relationship with academia, or what's your relationship with learning?
I'm amazing at it in the traditional
Ashay.
education system. I always like, I never tried to downplay it. I really thrived in the education system. Not to say that it means I'm like smart. I think it just means I have really good memory. I think my intelligence is from outside the system. But
Boy.
I fit really well, guys. I think, because I always say GCSE was basically like a memory exam, because yeah, 3 hours of basically trying to regurgitate every single thing possible from a textbook. And I was a fast writer and I had great memory, hence ending up with great GCSEs. A levels, we'll never know because we never got to complete them. um,
But no, we are qualified.
exactly. Yeah, please. We did.
Please.
We got the grades. We did get
We
the
got
grades.
the grades.
You got the grades. So that's
And we
what
made
counts.
it past. There we go.
Exactly. Exactly. And moving on to uni, I think that's where I was probably the most challenged because I had to now depend on things outside of memory because we didn't even have exams because it was COVID. So I had to really tap into, I feel like, a true indicator of intelligence and learning, which is like critical thinking, thinking outside yourself, thinking for yourself, coming up with your own ideas. Small, that's not really like happening until third, fourth year, but that's when it had to start. The brain had to
Yeah.
start ticking. But I've always like enjoyed it. Like it's never been something that I'm like, oh, like I never hated being in a classroom. I feel like the way that I actually learn is probably um through like a lot of reading, a lot of theory, as well as practice. But I know for other people it might be elsewhere. So I feel like, yeah, from my perspective, I've always I've always enjoyed it. I'm hoping to go back again as long as the money's there.
Boy. Doctress.
Sponsor me, please.
Doctress. That's beautiful. I know that obviously Christopher said that there was memory basis in there, but let's not, guys, know that this was one of the most intelligent people I know. Know that to be true. Know that this is
Thank
one
you.
of the most critical thinkers I know. The brain is working. Know that she is on and ready to go. Fabulous stuff. I think I kind of agree with what you're saying about that whole context of university just ripping everything. Just wow. You thought you knew what education was, and then it's just the floor is ripped beneath you, and you're crying because every note that a man is written is crushing your self-esteem.
Mm.
Or at least that's for me. I don't know where everybody is. Ish. I don't know everybody else, But for me, man, that first essay I got, and I remember thinking I thought I ate this up. I thought, yeah, this is gonna go so well, man. It was soul crushing. Uh, but it's very good. I think it builds you up, and it's really interesting that like you say that third, fourth year transition has an impact because I feel like uh the expansion of our understanding of knowledge, and I think of our understanding of the world happened at a real similar time because we both went on a year abroad at the same time. Christopher studied in Canada, I studied in Spain and Portugal. And I think it enabled us to like not only like explore different like topics, but kind of expand what education was like. The depth that I think we were both learning at was very different to what we were experiencing in the UK. And I think the removal of academic pressure enabled more expansion into that knowledge because you could kind of enjoy what you were doing because you didn't really obviously had trips and stuff that you could do, but that's just you're there to study, like you're there to learn, so you're not just going to be a bum and do nothing all day, like you're probably going to get something done. And so I think that definitely changed the way I saw education, the way I saw my degree, and I think that's probably what kind of got me here as well, like that transition of education for what it is, like a place of learning, a place of understanding, instead of a form of like, is it meritocracy? Is that the word?
Mm.
Yeah, this idea that your worth is just based on a number. Like, I think actually you found worth in education, and that worth has nothing to do with you. You just see the value in education. You don't see how your value should be determined by education, which I think was a really nice experience. And I think definitely for now, when it comes to what I choose to learn about, my education is very much geared towards like the African diaspora from a perspective of like South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. I have a page for that. I have a Substack for that. Shameless tag. It's called
Panorama
Panorama.
America. Oh, you can say it.
Tell them.
Panorama Americana?
Panorama. There we go.
Panorama. Panorama.
There we go.
Frick. Damn it.
It shows a whole view of the Americas because I realized in my education or in my degree, because I studied. Hey, we didn't even say what we studied. Maybe
Oh
do
my
we, are we meant
goodness.
to say that? Is that a fraud thing? I'm really conscious about this fraud
No,
thing.
surely not.
Surely not.
Yeah.
Okay,
Also,
so
we're on LinkedIn.
I was gonna, yeah, I just think that come find us on LinkedIn as well, guys. Come on, it's
Like,
fine.
yeah, it's there.
Guys, it's there. It's on the internet. So I studied Spanish, Portuguese, and Latin American studies. What did you study, Christy?
I studied philosophy, politics, and economics with international study.
Nice. So you just know we were reading books.
For
We
real.
have video evidence of library sessions. We were reading books, okay? But with that course, with that degree, studying abroad, I was able to expand even my understanding of Spanish speaking and Portuguese speaking worlds within the world. Because I think we only ever talk about Europe and South America, negating the strong presence of Portuguese speaking countries in Africa, even in Asia, or the influence on Asia, in like East Timor, in Goa and India. And then obviously like the only Spanish speaking country in Africa is Equatorial Guinea. There's like all these different things I literally learned abroad. And I realized, man, like I'd love to be able to expand my understanding of diaspora and also share that with other people so that I think because we're in this time in which, man, life is very, very different compared to the life that our parents and our grandparents were experiencing. Our interconnectedness is so broad. And also, I feel like even the opportunities are so different, and the opportunities for more connection, travel, and yeah, just interaction with other cultures is so much broader. So I feel like in order to adjust to that time, it's important for us to educate ourselves on each other, I guess, in order to expand, in order to unify in a time of craziness. Expansion is what's needed. So I think definitely those studies impacted my view of the diaspora and how I experience and also how I place myself in the diaspora too. So yeah. How about you, girl? I receive it.
Yeah, I guess in terms of university, I definitely echo what Lauren said. I feel like simply by obviously just leaving the country in itself, I feel like we definitely grew as people, which I think is like learning of itself and learning about yourself and in relation to other people, in relation to the world. And I guess academically as well, again, like going to institutions that are much more expansive in what they are studying, and there's a lot of depth. I know for me, like studying in a North American institution specifically, they literally have topics on every single thing possible. It's really interesting. They have it on like food, they have it on music. They, unfortunately, one thing I feel like to the uni that we went to, when they just say like African politics, you actually don't know what the heck is going on there, because obviously it's a continent and politics literally spans over like hundreds and thousands of years. So it's very hard to like point what exactly are we talking about. Whereas the university that I went to, there was contemporary African politics as in the now, pre-colonial African politics as in before colonization, and African politics during colonial times. So I was able to like study all three of them. And I also, my focus was on politics. I'm not like I'm quite numerically challenged. It's not like something that I don't have a strong disposition to numbers. So the economics part, I literally I fell asleep in an exam and I dropped it. Luckily, because of the lack of academic pressure, I literally just failed and I just charged it from there. I said, I'm not doing this again. Hey.
Put yourself first.
I put myself first, and I'm so thankful again for that lack of academic pressure, because it just pushed me to do something that actually I would like to do, something that I'm actually interested in, instead of like choosing something, being forced to do something because I have to get a good grade. So yeah, I done African politics, I done African youth languages, and I also done global Christianities as like studying Christianity and how it's been expressed in different parts of the world and in different times as well. And yeah, that definitely informed my perspective, especially in terms of like Pan-Africanism, because at the end of the day it is called like African politics. It's like a really the continent's huge. So what I learned looking like outside of myself, because again I'm Congolese, but looking outside of my own culture, especially because I am someone that was like able to grow up with a lot of knowledge of my culture before even like going to some sort of institution where it's mentioned, kind of looking outside of that and looking at the similarities and the differences and respecting those differences as well, not trying to
Yeah.
like pinpoint, not trying to make us like a monolith, and actually articulating that yes, we all have suffered from similar colonial histories, but the way that is expressed in modern times is very different, and we should like respect that as well. Like actually everyone is going through their own unique experiences that are really difficult. And really like harmful for people. And I think, yeah, like definitely studying African youth languages as well, as someone who's part of the diaspora, diaspora.
Yeah.
Why aren't you
Diaspora.
pickled? Diaspora.
Diaspora.
I didn't say
Diaspora.
either of that actually. None of those. Okay, diaspora. As someone who's part of the diaspora, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it was useful getting some sort of insight into what is
Yeah.
actually happening in the continent from people in the continent themselves, because a lot of the writers, a lot of the academics were based in the continent. So I feel like that was
Mm.
also useful as someone who, again, feels like I should have or I do have strong connections with, yeah, with the actual continent. Then I feel like it is useful, especially African youth languages, because it's centered around young people and what they're actually experiencing. Because like the continent is one of like the youngest continents in the world. There's children popping out at crazy rates. So yeah, I think that has definitely influenced my understanding of being part of the diaspora and what it
Yeah.
means to be respectful of other people who are your fellow diasporans. Diasporans.
Hey, come on. I think that's so lovely. I really like that point that you said about growing up having knowledge about your context, but also being open to exploring other contexts with respect. Because I think because of the heaviness of colonial history and colonial legacy, like across the diaspora, there does tend to be a tendency to, I guess, especially when you're personally connected to a particular narrative, to bolster that narrative as the main one. Like that idea of superiority, and I think not every context, it doesn't come as superiority in every context, but I do feel like the idea that okay, like this experience is the experience of my people, so it's a very, very hard experience, or this is a very, very like I prioritize this experience in my understanding of the diaspora because it's what I'm personally connected to. And I think again, there are some experiences like that literally they're incomparable when it comes to the tragedies that were experienced, like I've said experienced many times, but the tragedies that people face, definitely like even in the situation for Congo, like bun the colonial Belgians, like seriously, like there are some situations where that is very warranted to have that real, I guess, centralization of like diasporic narratives, like being through that lens. But I think, as we've like discussed before, it sometimes becomes, I think, in other cultural contexts, I don't think it's all cultural contexts, but we do see that there is a kind of, well, my struggle was worse than your struggle situation, which kind of builds. And the idea even of having one African diaspora creates the idea that we must have one narrative that's the same. Um, and I think again, as you said, like that respect and even that education of what's actually happening, like on the ground in different contexts. Because really, like even like both of us come from a legacy of immigration as well as yeah, just from a legacy of immigration. I'm a what, second generation? My second generation, third generation? My grandparents came to England. That's what we're going to say. My grandparents came to England, your parents came to England. So even our references for our cultures are also influenced by their experiences. And then having contact with, I guess, that contemporary experience is important too, because then you also know people who are our age, what are they experiencing, like what is their situation. So I think, yeah, that expansion element is super, super key, because then I think it maintains that, I guess it maintains, I'm not sure. It's not sympathy is not the right word. I guess connection. It maintains the connection. Because when we start having those conversations of, oh, this person has suffered more this person suffered more that, it just exacerbates difference that just does not need to be there. So yeah, I don't know, what do you think about, what are your opinions on that?
I agree. I think, especially in terms of moving forward as well, I
Mm,
think that sense of awareness of people's context, like if you are someone that prides yourself in, you want some sort of like a better world for people, especially um, people who are racialized, people from the global
mm,
majority, it's like there should be some sort of awareness of other people's histories and experiences, because then
yeah,
that's how you actually move forward. Because again, if you approach it from everyone has the same narrative, what is going on in one country, what is going on in one region, isn't necessarily the exact same the solution for that isn't now the exact same. But if you
yeah,
need to understand what different systems, because like let's say like the hurricanes that happened in
mm,
the Caribbean, simply because of like geography, like
mm,
that is ultimately very different struggle to, let's say, someone else that's positioned in the world, even though there might be some sort of struggle economically, conflict wise, um, violence wise, like there could there is a struggle there, but simply because of
mm,
geography, that is a different struggle. Even though we're all suffering from the from the climate crisis, but
mm,
specifically those hurricanes, the extent of the hurricanes, the frequency of the hurricanes are just naturally different. So I think it's
mm,
recognizing things like that, of like understanding why those hurricanes are happening, understanding how the climate crisis now is basically impacted, understanding how that crisis ultimately is related to your crisis. The crisis just looks different.
yeah,
And then that's how we move forward. Because yeah, like I think it's quite, I think, disrespectful actually, especially when
mm,
people, if you are approaching, if you are entering yourselves in conversations to do with the diaspora, to do with the global majority, to do with people, let's say, who have like, yeah, just some sort of, again, some sort of heritage, yeah, yeah. If you're dealing with, I guess, people, let's say, who are in our community, whether it be in London, whether it be in Paris, whether it be in Canada, all the states, blah blah blah, it's,
mm,
if you are choosing to engage in that conversation, then you ultimately should come with a sense of respect, and not a sense of like stumping your foot, saying, "Well, this is my experience. This is what we've been through, and therefore, like, woe is you at the expense of everyone else." When it should be
yeah,
woe is everyone. Yeah, everyone's
yeah,
really going through it, and everyone's going through it in their own ways. And I think it's important. It doesn't have to be in this strict institutional academic sense, but it is very
mm,
important to be aware of what people are going through. And it just
yeah,
happens to be that we have learned it in the context of academia and
mm,
institutionally. But I feel like the whole point of why this podcast exists is that you don't have to now go into like an institution and sit there and listen to a professor and listen to a lecturer and, and aim to get a degree, simply to understand that academia can be found outside of an institution,
yeah,
which is why we're doing what we're doing. Because some of like the smartest people we know, they didn't go to uni. They didn't have
yeah,
to go to uni, and they are still as well equipped to engage in conversations like this. Because I'd rather engage with someone who has the disposition to understand different people's struggles, who didn't go to
yeah,
uni, than engage with someone who went to uni, because those were definitely people like that we met in uni, who went to
yeah,
uni, they're in the institution, but they have no sense of awareness. They have no
mm,
sense of like personal,
just,
like just literally interpersonal skills to
yeah,
engage with what other people are going through. So
yeah.
there is also that.
Yeah, I think that's super. I 100%. It's very funny. I think this whole podcast is just going to be us. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree. There's a lot of agreement we
Yeah.
have, to be
Echo
honest. But
chamber.
I
Buzz,
a
buzz.
100%. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I thought you were saying buzz balls. It's like, this is. it's okay. We digress.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a very important part that you had mentioned, like that whole thing of engaging in conversation. Like, I don't even understand attempting to engage in conversation without being open to hearing someone else's side. But that's where that point of critical thinking comes in. And as you said, there were people I interacted with, even to the point of like educators whose worldview was so limited. And I think that probably, even as you said, like that experience in like Canada, having so many different diverse like ways of understanding politics within Africa, it's like you can really see that limited mindset in the framework of our education experience. And so, and I think that also translates into a very like English way of looking at the world, like regardless of what we want to say, like that. I think it's quite common in the Anglophone culture to just focus on English narratives and make your narrative superior. Um, so I think, yeah, I think as you said, like expanding your knowledge is important of the struggles. And I also think of the points of commonality of the really unique aspects of culture as well, because it means that we are able to give like a well-rounded image of diaspora, and especially of a continent, particularly with Africa, that is so so negatively depicted. It's crazy. The fact that we still have those water adverts is wild. It's absolutely insane. It's crazy that that still even happens. So I guess, yeah, like balancing out, those struggles, those things that are important to be made aware of, and also just learning about different cultures and contexts and histories and points of like true wisdom that I feel like aren't always in the mainstream. And again, as you said, like university really isn't the be all and end all. And I think a lot of our personal um like a lot of the personal development that we had was outside of the classroom. I think you definitely had the benefit of having really good like professors that gave you real good critical questions, but those were things that you reflected on outside of the academic space. And I think again, like a lot of us, like academia is still a part of a system that is very exclusionary. So it means that there is this idea and notion of what academia is, of what intelligence is. The fact that intelligence and academia are wrapped up together is crazy. But these institutions have this real sense of prestige about them, which means that people don't feel like they're accessible. But actually, expanding that access and knowing that that access is not just sitting in a lecture hall, but you have, resources and platforms that can give you academic resources for free that you can download, that you can read. And even as much as like a YouTube video, we have access to so much information that is used in lecture halls, information that is used by professors, doctors. Like, I think expanding that awareness that you can also access these things too, that recognition of your own power, that autonomy is super powerful, because education is one of the most like lethal weapons to any system, because it really encourages people to become more involved and advocate and all these brilliant things. So yeah, man. Let's just mash it all up
Yeah.
with our words, with our minds, you know?
Okay.
Pretty much, pretty much. Okay, cool. So then I guess what would we, in this first episode, what intention, I guess, are we setting for this podcast? What do we want from it? And what difference do we want to make?
I'd say,
Mhm.
I think definitely something that was touched on before, or that we've been touching on the whole time, is exploring, doing some sort of collective learning, because obviously the structure, like,
Yeah.
will be discussed later. Doing some
Mhm.
sort of collective learning where we are kind of building our own perspective
Mhm.
of what it means actually to understand the diaspora. What does it
Mhm.
mean to actually know what that is. What does it actually mean to us as
Yeah.
people? Because maybe everyone has like a different understanding, but what does it mean to be part of the diaspora? Like, what
Mm.
does it mean to actually know about different people's histories, and what does it mean to actually interconnect those histories with our own, whether it be your own context and someone else's context, and also sitting in the differences as well. So sitting in the tension of being like, oh, like we're actually having quite different experiences, but also
Mm.
acknowledging that, wow, like this is a very common struggle. And I think especially from my perspective of like abolishing systems and abolition. So I feel like the main goal of abolishing systems is tearing down concepts that are harmful, tearing down concepts that are not of actual use. They're not fulfilling. They are
Mm.
harmful. They are, yeah, concepts that are harmful, narratives that are harmful, systems that are harmful, and tearing them down and replacing them with actually ones that are inclusive, that bring peace instead of fear, instead of division. Because I feel like, when the term like diaspora isn't, I feel like it should be quite a neutral word. It should be quite like a positive word. Oh, part of the diaspora. But when it can be
Yeah.
put into context like, oh, diaspora wars and diasporas,
Us
I
boss.
genuinely feel like that is a system of division.
Yeah.
But hey, some people might say I'm a party pooper. I have my fair comments. I'm not going to say who about, but I have my fair comments. Um, but I think when it is actually like, there's some people who are practicing it in their daily lives, and they
Yeah.
are spewing quite negative narratives out of like that. They're actually living in a diaspora war. Like there's certain people who are literally living in it as we speak.
Yeah.
So when referring to people like that, I think, yeah, like actually deconstructing things like that and actually creating a diaspora that understands each other and uplifts, not tears down.
Lift me up. Hold
Hold
me
me
down.
down.
Keep me safe. Man, I have to stop myself.
I just don't know the rest.
Landing in an open sea. Exactly.
What about you, Lauren? What is your hope? What is your intention?
Honestly, like it's the word that comes to mind is accessibility. Like accessibility to different cultures, different perspectives, accessibility to different resources, and I guess accessibility to each other. Without, as you said, without judgment, with pure like curiosity, interest, and respect. As you said, like it's very unfortunate that we do have populations that engage in very disrespectful dialogues when, especially coming from a community that is literally made of immigrants. The Black British community is made of immigrants. That initial community that got there had to unify and had to respect each other in order to literally survive, in order to be able to live somewhere. Like people were either living in a one-bedroom house for three families, or they were using partner and getting all the money together to be able to buy a house because they weren't getting no mortgages. Do you know what I mean? I think even that division in itself is incredibly, like, from my own cultural perspective, incredibly disrespectful to the experiences that I not only experience as or at least the efforts that were made that I benefit from, and the efforts that were made that I know people directly did. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like within my smaller diaspora of the Black British sense, like actually creating a form of respect not only for our past but also our present amongst each other, especially in a time where division is not necessary. Like it's absolutely not necessary and it's not productive in any form or fashion when we are up and faced with many other systems that are unifying in order to just divide and conquer. You know what I mean? And so I guess the accessibility to feel comfortable to like be with each other, share space, like really build community, because community is so beautiful. I feel like it's so strange that there is this pushing for division where community is one of the most enriching things. And we felt that, like, I will never knock the mental toll that COVID had on everybody, purely because we couldn't be with each other. We take it for granted so much. And again, I think that accessibility to different resources and different resources in different languages, because again, language is a huge barrier, and it's one of my like raison d'être. I feel
Yeah,
like it's one of my callings to connect people regardless of language, because language is just a form of expression, but humanity like crosses linguistic barriers. And I think there are also experiences that cross linguistic barriers. So yeah, amplifying access and making sure it's just awareness. And listen, we're both Pisces. So what's happening here is two Pisces wants everyone to just get along and share love and be kind. Okay,
very on
that's
brand.
my manifesto.
Great.
So I guess the way that we're going to be doing this, we are open to suggestions as well. Do I not look like I'm in the past right now? That's crazy. Time traveled. That was ancestral. Anyways, uh, open to discussion, but we're thinking of analyzing some resources, sharing the resources, access to the resources to you guys, so then you can actually look at them for yourselves. Because what is education without actual, personal interaction with it? That's just being a sheep, and we're not doing that. We're not having sheeps. We're having independent thinkers. What's an independent animal? Is a wolf an independent animal? It's a pack animal. We're being independent,
Yeah,
okay?
because the
So
animal I was going to say is just not needed in this conversation. Because
yeah.
chimpanzees are really smart.
I just had a feeling we were going into that lane. You
Yeah,
know, we can still respect monkeys.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You see the division that the systems have brought. That we're disrespecting intelligent animals.
exactly.
Outrageous.
Exactly.
Anyways,
Like, come on.
come on, guys. So yeah, looking at a resource, whether that be a scholarly article, whether that be a YouTube video, whether that even be a random blog, a song, and analyzing its impacts or understanding of it. Any further methods that we are using?
Paintings,
Yes, art,
yes.
sculpture.
Poems, TV shows, films.
Mm,
Oh, definitely. There's probably some films out there. Sinners.
100% multimedia.
I'm joking. We
Let
don't.
it be, let it be known that this
We
woman
do
has watched Sinners how many times?
11 times, but
11
we
times.
don't need to do that. But I'm just saying, Sinners is a good example.
Yeah, that is an already oversaturated market.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you have shared your passion for it,
Thank you.
because it does need to be known.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe, do you know what? I can't lie. Maybe we can explore not
Really?
Sinners,
Oh.
but I feel like folklore is maybe that's a good segue for next week.
Okay.
Yeah, not Sinners though.
Okay. Yeah.
Let that
Yeah.
be known.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
too excited, because I
Yeah.
can feel the glee.
Of course. Yeah. No. Like, I might reference it though.
That's okay. That's okay. Just know it's it's our launch pad, We're not
Yeah.
staying there.
Yeah. 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 Of course. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so guys, wait, before we leave, guys, because we're wrapping it up. I'm very impressed. We've done quite a good
Yeah.
time.
Under an hour.
Whoa, this is
Yeah.
impressive for us. Our families frequently ask why we still are chatting. So
It's really good.
this is becoming.
Yes.
We are becoming. Ashe. Okay, so before we finish, we spent like half an hour trying to find a name for this
Yeah.
particular resource, particular podcast. Do you want to give some of the names that we had?
We really liked the term blackademics. Um, if
We really like.
if you know the people who own the IP for that and you want to let them know to like just hand it over, please,
Donate it
please
for
donate
free.
it because that was really good. And we didn't
Black
copy
Academics.
them. Like it literally came quite naturally
It came straight from Krista V. So
from
what
the
should we call
heart.
it? Black Academics. It came out straight away. Yeah, Black Academics. Man, not rest in peace, rest in power. Black Academics.
Yeah, literally. And whoever
Yeah.
is using that word, I hope you're using it properly and I hope you're actually using it to the level best, okay? Because that's a really good word. So if you're not using it properly, please donate it. Like if you haven't uploaded anything or put something on your website in like a couple months, you don't oh that's
Months. I would say years. I think this is like a HBO thing.
oh okay. Sorry.
I don't know if
Okay.
they're gonna donate that.
Yeah.
That's definitely a lot of money.
Yeah. Ignore
No,
me.
we can still ask. We can still ask. You know, what's the difference if it's HBO? We can still ask.
Yeah. Closed mouths don't get fed. So yeah.
There we go. Okay, thank you so much, guys.
Oh, we're
This
not
is
going to
so
go through the
fun.
other options.
Oh my gosh,
We're just going to leave people.
you jumped to like option 7, so I was like, wait,
Sorry.
that's it.
It's
No,
because
go
I
ahead, go
saw it and I
ahead.
was like, wow. So we have study leave. We
Mm.
have reading week. What's funny?
I'm just remembering the desperation that was aligned with these names because when
Yeah.
we realized Black Academics was taken, we got really thrown off kilter. Like we got very frantic real fast.
But hey, you never know. One of these might land. Do you know? Peer
Yeah.
review, semester,
Mm.
black
Mm.
term.
Semester.
Semester's so
Semester's
silly.
my favorite.
That is, listen, if that ends up being the one that's chosen, fair enough. Black term, the University of Blackness,
Oh
very
shit.
direct. The University of Diaspora. Diaspora. Can we not do that one, please?
It's called the Diasporic Review, Christopher.
Oh my god! But you just said you just. Oh, these are the names that we might have chosen.
Yeah.
Diasporic review.
There you go. You can do it.
Yeah.
Diaspora. I don't know.
I'm
Listen.
just going to leave Lauren to introduce because that word I really struggle. So diaspora.
It's okay. We'll get there.
Thanks.
We will. Well, man, that was so cathartic. I feel super excited. Super good. Thank you so much, Christopher, for hosting. Wow, for hosting on this platform. It took us an hour and a half to get here. But we are here, we have begun, and once we've begun, we can only keep going up from there.
Exactly.
Yes. Any final words?
Thank you. And see you later.
Thank you. And see you later. People them, thank you. And see you
See you
later.
later.
We will see you soon. Have a lovely day, evening, morning, lunch time. Ashe. Goodbye.